anyway, so I bought that song up because I'm looking at this, that story and whatnot. I'm like, damn, I be wondering whether or not like hip hop be having an impact on how people, or at least how black folks look at like at stealing, right? And I was thinking earlier about like how Angry Man was breaking down how black people see, basically how black people see money, how we see commerce, and how we see the importance of paying the right price for things and not having this. Oh, here we go. Boom.
What you think about songs like it's supposed to be the hottest song out right now? What do you think about songs like that? Is this something that encourage?
All right, so I want to show the visual more than anything else.
She was able to create a song that not only misled young girls, right, but she's also attempted to mislead young men as well.
You see what I'm talking about? First of all, why is this nigga dancing to the song? You would think it was his record. The way he playing this, you know what? Maybe it is his song. But just watch this shit. It's like a whole movement. The kids is going up to this, yo. You know what I'm saying? Like, you see this? That's wild, son. That is wild, yo. You know? But you saw them, and it's a movement, and they all singing it. They all know the words of the song and whatnot. But here's the thing: that old boy he said, "Oh, she's attempted to mislead." First of all, it's already cooked. Listen, this is these niggas' mothers. To keep it a stack with you, black men are the most resilient because a lot of black men will grow up not having a mother that had being primarily around a mother, and not even being around a mother who's actually even sane. But if you talk to a lot of black men and start kind of getting into their history and like getting into like their upbringing and like how their mother act and stuff like that, a lot of y'all, it is what it is, bro. It's really hard for women to develop if they not under the leadership of a man. Everyone needs leadership. That's why you'll like say like Coach Greg, right? Coach Greg is someone who's an actual trainer, been into fitness his whole life, and he still went and got a trainer and invested in himself. Right? He don't need no trainer. He don't need help, putting in work. He know how to work out. He know how to push himself, right? But he's still invested. You know what I'm saying? Because the idea is that I'm going to invest in going into the extra mile because I'm not invested in, getting a new body. You know what I mean? Getting being motivated, having somebody with me. And again, it's the price you pay for what you want, right? And just overall, it's about like what you want to put into it. And don't get me wrong, listen, I heard a little bit of it. That shit is catchy, but at the same time, it's like, bro, I don't know. At this point, I don't think it's anything to really complain about. I mean, because the kids are where they're at, man. Like kids, the mamas. I'm saying this they mama. Because another reason why it's gonna resonate is because as long as you ain't got shit, because at the end of the day, women are survivors, so women will do whatever they, which means surviving means doing whatever you think you have to do, or what is the most convenient choice, right? So when it comes to surviving, men gotta understand. Men don't get that, right? Men will consider ethics and what's right from wrong when it comes to making a decision, whereas a woman will say, all right, well, whatever's the easiest thing I can do to get from point A to point B, I'm gonna do it. Which is again, the easiest thing, the most accessible thing is always going to be their sexuality. Always going to be they looks. If they got looks, they looks, and they want us to have sex. That will always be in demand. That will always be valuable, but also will always be the easiest thing they can get because they already have it. They don't have to acquire it. Like she don't got to go out there and like earn a pussy. You know, so I'm like, listen, women would treat having a vagina that had sex so much differently if they had to go out there and like earn it, and like they couldn't like get their vaginas until like they was like 25 and whatnot. You know what I mean? Some people, they don't get them. Some women like you have late bloomers. Well, they don't get their vagina. They can't afford one until they're 30 years old. You know what I mean? And late bloomers, so they really appreciate having a vagina. You know what I mean? So you know what I mean? You get it? Anyway, so it's like that, bro. So yeah, man. So shout out to Young Miami. So that only took about 8 years to put out a record by herself. That was pretty good. So shout out to her. But yeah, man. Yeah, we gotta stop making this content as if like we just started kind of going downhill as a community. this shit been going on for a super long time. A lot of men don't even realize you don't operate like men. You don't talk like men. You don't act like men. You live in fear. Everything is in fear. Like myself, right? I realized like, yo, you gotta stop doing things that make you an anxious person. Because whether you realize it or not, when your mental health is declining and whatnot, it becomes way tougher to tolerate and to problem solve in your personal life, period. And mainly doing what you have to do well. You know what I'm saying? And going back to the whole survival thing, right? When I said that women are survivors, the reason why scamming culture, why my music turn on? The reason why scamming culture and rapping about scamming ain't no big deal, because at the end of the day, oh my bad, hold on. Heartbeat switch and trap remix. I'm trying to remix this beat real quick. Yeah, because y'all don't be realizing when you selling yourself short. Like for example, right? When it comes to black men have this thing. Well, American black men in particular had this thing about being so averse to paying or giving women money, even if they got money. It's something different, right? When you don't got the money, understandable. That makes sense. The idea is that the more money you have, the more inclined you are to pay for conveniences, right? But overall, black men, and shout to CJ, it's not my original point, but black men will again wrap their ego up in how women feel about them. And don't get me wrong, it's nice for girls to find you attractive, and you have to look at it as that comes with it, not this thing that you focus on, because that's fleeting and it doesn't really matter. If you really think about it in the grand scheme of things, first and foremost, you got one penis, and most men are not really into like banging a whole bunch of girls. If you got one that you like to be with and stuff like that, most of the time it's good enough. You know what I'm saying? Most of the time. Hold on, let me hit his track real quick. Most of the time it's gonna be good enough. You know what I mean? But yeah, man. As long as I got that mindset, you'll always think that it makes sense to do the wrong thing, right? Because again, get me wrong, when you doing too bad, that's nothing about survival. Survival is not really akin to or related to or adjacent to right from wrong. Because survival is subjective. I can say, you know what, in order to survive, I'm going to steal this loaf of bread. And I can pull you into this whole philosophical argument when I ask you, if I'm starving, is it right for me to steal a loaf of bread, or should I just starve to death? You know what I mean? I get philosophical on you. I put on the toga, look you in your eyes and whatnot. Ain't do what I actually do. That's cool. All right, let's get to the next thing. So Rick Ross, listen, Drake just said, if I'm lying, I'm flying economy. Give me a motherfucking seat. So here we have Rick Ross.